Hello everyone and welcome to Is It Truly Gluten Free? Today we're going to be testing General Mills Cheerios. So as you can see, this product is labeled gluten free. No other indicators. It does say gluten free right here on the side. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started here. Now I am going to blend this up prior to testing, just to give the test kit the best shot at actually detecting the gluten. Alright, so we'll throw the lid on here and we'll put it in the blender. Now I'm not showing the actual blending process because of the fact that the vibrations from the blender, I'm afraid, will knock the camera out of kilter. So I've got the blender over here on another table. We're just going to do it that way. All right, so there we've got it. Now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and pour this sample into this plastic bag. Okay, so we're set. We've got our Cheerios sample here, and we'll go ahead and move forward with the tests momentarily. Okay, we're ready to begin the testing and analysis process. So I've got my bag of Cheerios that were ground up, and first step is to weigh out 1 gram of the Cheerios. And we're going to put that into this vial right here. I've got it labeled with a C, meaning Cheerios. Here's 1 gram, roughly. Okay, for the next step, I need to take my extraction solution, which I have here. I need to put it into the vial containing the food sample. And I've got to do that. I've got to put 10 milliliters of the extraction into that vial. So, got my pipette set to 10 milliliters. Okay, now what I've got to do is vortex this thing to get everything all mixed thoroughly. All right, now we're ready for the incubation phase, where basically we're going to put these vials, these samples, into a thermostatic water bath. Now I am putting multiple samples in just because that's more efficient. I'm going to do 6 at a time. So these need to incubate in this hot water bath for about 40 minutes at 50 degrees Celsius. I'm going to come back periodically and vortex all of the samples, and then we'll proceed from there. It's time for the first vortex round for the Cheerios sample. Second round of vortexing. Third and last round for vortexing. Okay, now it's time to centrifuge the samples. We just finished with the incubation, and now you open the centrifuge here. So again, as with the incubation, I'm going to be centrifuging multiple samples at the same time, just for efficiency's sake. So I have 6 spots in my centrifuge. I have 6 samples here. So I am going to centrifuge these now. I'm going to do it for 10 minutes at 2500 Gs. The centrifuge is finished now with the samples. So I've got my Cheerios samples here, and this is the vial that was centrifuged. Now you'll notice that the solids have been pushed to the bottom, and we've got this liquid on top. That's what we're after at this point. I'm going to transfer it into this empty vial. And now I can discard the original sample vial. because what we're really after, meaning the gluten, is in this thing. So now at this point, I'm going to allow this vial to stand for a little bit, just to allow it to come to room temperature. All right, now we're ready to perform the dilution step as well as the analysis on the Cheerios. So I've got this empty vial here. I'm going to take that, and we're going to do this test at a limit of detection of 3 parts per million. In other words, if this test comes back negative, that means that there was less than 3 parts per million of gluten in this sample. If it comes back positive, it means that there was some amount greater than 3 parts per million. So in this vial, in order to get 3 parts per million, I've got to mix the extracted food sample with dilution solution at a 1 to 75, a 1 to 25 ratio. So I've got this pipette set to 960 microliters. That's the appropriate amount of dilution solution that we need for a 3 parts per million limit of detection. So I've got my dilution solution here. So 960 microliters into that vial. Now we need to match that with 40 microliters of the diluted sample. So 40 microliters of the extracted food sample. Okay, so we're all set. I'm going to mix this up for a moment. Just make sure that the dilution solution and the extraction are well mixed. All right, so now we're going to take 100 microliters from that vial. I'm going to start in this vial, or this well right here, the one on the far left. Got a test stick here. I'm going to drop it in that first well and set a timer for 10 minutes. Okay, our test is done. Okay, and there's a definite red line there, which means gluten found. So we did this test at a limit of detection of 3 parts per million. Now, since it came back positive, it means that this Cheerios sample has more than 3 parts per million of gluten in it. Now, remember that the FDA limit for gluten content in a gluten-free labeled product is 20 parts per million. So getting a positive result at 3 parts per million isn't necessarily a problem, but we do need to do more testing to make sure that it's actually below 20 parts per million. So we're going to do another test on this sample at 5 parts per million. Because that involves a separate test, I'm going to put that in another video. You can find a link to that one by looking in the description below, or you can just wait until the end of this one and I'll provide a link to it there. You can also visit the website at isittrulyglutenfree.com for complete summaries of all tests that have been done. So take care, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. If you'd like to stay updated on new gluten test videos as they're posted, don't forget to subscribe. You can also visit us on the web at isittrulyglutenfree.com or follow us on social media at isittrulyglutenfree. Thanks again and have a great day.